This is now, we're sort of officially recording, and I'll just make a little announcement to the public and to our members who will be reading this. And as a matter of fact, the session that we're doing today is actually a proprietary session that we do not do with non-members. It's a major competitive advantage of the things that we're about to do with Mary Storino, who is a real estate broker. And this session, she has kindly consented to allow us to use this for training purposes so that other people can also take advantage of this using the magic of the internet and using video streaming, which we are making here. Right now, we're actually logged into Mary Storino's website. At this point, Mary does not have a particular domain name for this particular website. And there's 5 things that you really need to get this website really generating, making money. Besides having the website itself looking nice, and besides having listings on the website, such as commercial and residential listings, and specially structured in a way that the public cannot click on the listings. This means that anyone visiting Mary's site has to call Mary for more information. And when people call her, even if they call her on properties not within her marketing area, in fact, she could end up getting a call on properties all over the world, and they'll ask Mary, I'm interested in message 146785, can you help me? Everyone who has this website should simply say, yes, I certainly can. And at that point, you simply say, I will have someone call you back, and then you can call the other broker and ask the other broker, I have a lead for you. Is a 25% referral commission, is that okay? Is a 25% commercial referral commission okay with you? And then away you go. Now, in order to do that, however, in order to generate those kinds of leads, we've got one RE/MAX salesperson who's actually done 15 of those. That's literally 75 minutes of his time, and he's made over $45,000. It's important now to have traffic going to the website. So what we're doing with Mary now is about an 8-minute procedure starting from here to design a special domain name, which will actually be working within an hour to 2 hours from designing this domain name. So we have now logged in to Mary's site. If you have one of these sites that we have distributed to you, you must log into the site, and then the instructions are beginning now. Now, Mary, up at the top, you'll see where it says Online Office. Let's just click on that just to refresh the screen. And along the blue line that will appear, it'll say Domains and Email. I've actually got a blank screen here. Did yours come right up? I've got mine coming up. It'll say Domains and Email. Let's click on that together. And then on the left-hand side, you'll see a number of different choices, starting with Domain Store. It'll be the first bullet on the left. It'll be called Domain Store. Do you see that, Mary? I'm sorry, I can hardly hear you. Okay, thank you. And you'll also see where it says My Domains, and basically what happens is we're recommending that everyone have at least 3 domain names. I'm going to explain that shortly, and you can manage your domains from there. Where it says default domain name, you can set which name people will see in the address field way up above when people arrive to your website. So you can change that name that people will see by simply using this default domain name. The other thing that you can also do is you can choose to have these names renewed each year automatically, because if you let the name expire, what's going to happen is somebody else can actually grab your domain name, and when you try to get it back from them, and it could be your own name, they don't have to give it back to you because they've registered it on the internet because you let it expire. And some people have had to pay $2,000 and $3,000 to get the name back. So we're suggesting you put things onto an auto renew ability, which we'll show you here in a moment. But let's click on Domain Store now. And another page comes up that says register a new domain name. If you have an existing domain name for your other website and you want to point it to this, The instructions are there. You simply click on point existing domain name, and then there's 2 steps basically, well, they say 3, 4 steps here, that you can actually get any domain name that you have presently and get it pointed to this particular website. However, if you do have other websites, we are actually suggesting that you keep your other websites and you add this one to your fleet of websites. Have you ever heard of Craig Proctor, Mary? Craig, most people in real estate have, and he's recommending that you could have anywhere from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 websites. Why? Because they're like similar in one sense to billboards out there on the highway, and they're on the internet. And if each billboard is generating $50,000 to $100,000 a year, then why not? So we're actually recommending that you can keep your other websites, and during this session we can actually show you how you can actually be making money from the other websites as well. You'll also see domain renewals down there where it says renew domain name and manage your domain auto renewal. So if you ever did put that auto renewal on, it'll automatically renew your domain name each year. This is very advantageous when you have domain names to have them automatically renewed. In case of the busyness of our business, you can overlook that very easily. Although it is announced by email to people, but sometimes it's easy to overlook that. Let's click on register a new domain name, Mary. And a page comes up where you can type in a www address, like a website URL. And in this address, before we actually design a domain name, I'm going to ask Mary some questions, and you can apply it to yourself. In your particular case, Mary, do you do more commercial or more residential? At this point, residential, although you're moving into commercial a little bit yourself. Is that correct? But you also have a company that does commercial. I think is this you and your husband operating the company? And in this case, your husband does a lot of commercial. Okay, so this website, now we probably can make a commercial real estate website for your husband that could have a residential link that points to your site, theoretically. And we could make your site more of a residential looking site and have a link on it that links to your other website, to your husband's website, that's more commercial. Is that something that you would like done or consider doing? Okay, excellent. I'm so glad you brought that up. And one of the reasons I wanted to do this session with you, Mary, is because you have these other options. I like people that have more options than just the normal one, so it can help everyone in the business. So in this case, Mary already has another website that she likes as well. And websites, in our opinion, you should keep them all, and you should link them all to each other. This can help build traffic for your websites, just the linking abilities alone. So on this website, we're going to be designing it as a commercial real estate website, and on it will be a link to her residential website, and then on her residential website, she can put a link on it to this as a commercial website. Now, just because it's a commercial website does not mean that we have a commercial name for the domain name. For instance, I'm going to ask Mary another couple of questions, and you can apply it to your own area in the world, whether you're in Denver, San Bernardino Valley, or San Diego, or Florida and Orlando. It does not matter. From Vancouver to Newfoundland, it does not matter where you're located. What we're about to discuss can apply no matter where in the world you are located. Keep in mind there's over 1 billion people that are using the internet. And of people that search for real estate, over 74% of people use the internet to search for real estate. And 96% of those people who are searching for real estate are actually searching for listings. And because of all of the websites that are being supplied out there in the world today, the ones from ICI World come stocked full of listings, all structured in a way that you get the calls. So that working with these domain names is key towards driving traffic for your website. Now, in this case, Mary, where are you located? In what city, first of all? Mississauga primarily. I'm going to suggest that we should have a name with 3 words in it: Mississauga, real, and the word estate. So in other words, when people search for real estate, chances are they might start by searching Mississauga real estate. It's the most common way to search for real estate. So I'd like you to type in Mississauga Real Estate.com. Now, you and I both know that that name is already gone, but I need to go through this exercise with you for purposes of this demonstration, because some people will be in a part of the world where that name is not gone already. And because of the population is what, about 1 million people in Mississauga, is that correct? That this name is already gone because there are some who have already grabbed some good domain names. Grabbing good domain names is similar to getting names in the yellow pages in the phone book when it first came out. First come, first serve. If you get the domain name and a good one, you've got it. Now, in this case, we notice that there's a column that says unavailable and one that says available. So we now have to hit the back button once, Mary, and there's 3 domain names that I'm going to be recommending. MaryStorino.com, which is your name as a real estate salesperson broker, could be a domain name that you could use for your personal clients. In other words, your colleagues, your relatives, the people in church groups or any associations you belong to, and particularly all of the investors and prospects and clients that you work with. If you give them your own personal name.com, it's very easy for them to remember. But you must also tell them that there's thousands of residential and commercial ads on your website, and there's 50 to 100 new listings a day coming in. That's what you've got to tell your people. Otherwise, just giving a name, johnsmith.com, doesn't turn anybody on to visit your website. But if you say that you've got thousands of commercial and residential ads with 50 to 100 new ones coming in every single day, make sure you check back regularly onto our website for these new listings. That's what brings people to your website. In this particular case, it's not the only name that you're going to have, MaryStorino.com. I'm recommending a minimum of 3 names, and you can have as many as 10 and even more names. In this case, they only cost you $10.95 per year in Canada, and I believe it's $8.95 per year in the U.S. The same thing where you see Mississauga Real Estate. In Denver, it'll be Denver Real Estate, Los Angeles Real Estate, etc. Now, in order to get a name with the word of your local municipality, your city in it, and the word real estate, try adding the word info, please, Mary, to MississaugaRealEstateInfo.com. It's enough of a change that it doesn't affect the domain name much. And when people search the search engines of the world, such as the Googles of the world, it has Mississauga and real estate in the domain name. It gives you a chance to come up in a natural fashion. And when I do a search on that to see if that's gone, we notice now that the .com is gone. Is that correct? But you'll notice that the info.net is available. So on a pad of paper, if you could pull out a pad of paper now, I'm going to suggest that this now becomes an option for you to have MississaugaRealEstateInfo.net. When people search that on the internet, they can find you. However, over the years, we've also found that the .com is the one that is more common. You can tell someone info.net. Do you think they'll remember the .net? It's usually the .com. So for that reason, you and I are going to be challenged to come up with a .com name here rather than the .net, and we're going to continue to search. But if we strike out, Mary, that name's a good name. Let's hit the back button once. Another way to get the name a little bit different, take out the word info and type in the word links, Links. So in other words, it's MississaugaRealEstateLinks.com. Let's try that. Again, that's enough of a change that it could be okay, but we notice that it's already taken as well. Again, for the purposes of our exercise, some of these names have been taken by our members already, and I'm going over ground, but I'm actually leading everyone someplace here. It's the concepts that are important for people in other parts of the world. Please hit the back button again. Take out the word links and put in the word help. MississaugaRealEstateHelp.com. And let's put that in. And by golly, that one seems to be gone as well. Let's hit the back button again. And I'm going to suggest we put in Mississauga Real Estate Help, the number 4 and the letter U. So it's helpforyou.com. And did we find a domain name for you? There you go. So I'm suggesting that it is these kinds of sort of an exercise that you have to go through in order to get a good domain name, particularly in large centers of 1 million and 2 to 10 million people, such as in New York City and others, and Chicago. Now, you could also go MississaugaRealEstateForYou.com. You can modify all of these a little bit. Or you could say buy Mississauga Real Estate. That's another one that you could use. In other words, there's a lot of options to using the words. What's the key here, however, is getting the word real estate in it and your local community in it. Now, you also deal in other communities around Mississauga. Is that correct? Each of those communities, I'm recommending you go through the same exercise. Excuse me. And so if you have 4 or 5 or 6 communities around you, that's probably going to be 5 times $10.95 per year for you to have those kinds of domain names. And what this does, the number of results that come up when you search, give me another smaller community near you, please. Okay, so Milton Real Estate. When you search Milton Real Estate or search Mississauga Real Estate, you might have maybe 3,000 results for Mississauga and maybe 1,000 for Milton. That doesn't mean that you don't register Milton, because if one person calls out of that 1,000 and you go off and make $30,000, then that was a benefit for you. Okay, so I'm going to suggest that you go ahead and click on that name, MississaugaRealEstateHelpForYou.com, and you can click on Add to Cart. Can you do that now? Okay, I'm going to click on Add to Cart. I really don't know what's going to happen when we both do it, but we've done it, and that's fine. Now, if you go down to the bottom of the page, it'll say Register More Domain Names. Now, is your name, marystorino.com, already used by your other website? Then you're not going to use it here. You'll keep it with your other website, and we recommend doing that. You don't have to. Okay? Now, do you want a name, however, that is short and easy, other than Mississauga Real Estate Help for You.com, for people to be able to come here? So what could we possibly say for people to come here? Well, one name could be StorinoICI.com. Could be MaryStorinoICI.com, but maybe StorinoICI.com. What do you think of that name as a short name for people? Which do you prefer, the Mary Storino ICI? I'm sorry? Just Storino? All right, go ahead and do StorinoICI.com. Down in the bottom, register more domain names, and we're going to search. I click on search, and bingo, you've got it. So I'm going to suggest that you now choose that name as well, and click on Add to Cart. Now, when you've done that, you've now added 2 names. You can click on where it says Proceed to Checkout. Can you please do that now? And when you do, you're going to see that we've got the Mississauga Real Estate For You.com came up, and I thought that, oh, you did that while we were talking. Is that correct, Mary? Okay, good job. Excellent. I didn't know that was available, but you see how Mary was able to start to figure things out for herself. You know, we often say that we're here to teach you how to fish and market, not just to hand it to you. So this helps you with your thinking to come up with other domain names. Now, is the domain names the end of the answer? The answer is no. You need to take segment 4, Mary, to learn how this is the first of 5 things you must do to make all of these strategies work for you on the internet. But for now, you can go to where it says Proceed to Checkout, unless you want to change those names to longer. We can leave them the way they are. Some people do 2 years if they're only doing one name. You've got 3 names. Let's just proceed to checkout for purposes of this seminar. And you'll notice that a page will come up that already has your name in it. And you can put in your organization name, put in your phone number and your fax number. And you notice it's already got your address there from before. Now, the address should be SUITE, shouldn't it? S-U, okay, you corrected that. Everything here looks great. Now, you notice the administrative contact. You can simply click on that little square box that says same as registrant. Click on that so you don't have to re-enter it again. Then you click on the billing contact. Keep that the same. And you should not change anything where it says technical contact. You simply go and click on continue now, please. Go ahead. Now I'm going to do it. I hope it doesn't mess things up here for both of us, but the following fields your bank. The phone number, I didn't put in a phone number. Let me just put in, it doesn't really matter what phone number I'm doing because I'm not going to put in a, I'm not going to be registering this, only you are. But I want people to see the next page that comes up. So I've actually entered it. And please review your domain names carefully. You have your domain names, and then you can enter your credit card information. And when you click on OK, everything will be working literally within 1 hour. Isn't that fantastic? So this is the end of this particular seminar. If anybody has any questions as to for anything at all whatsoever, please feel free to give us a call. And the numbers you can find at our main website, iciworld.net. You simply click on Contact Us, and the numbers are right on the screen there for you. That completes our session for today, Mary. And I want to thank you so much for participating in this session today. And I'm going to sign off. I'm going to ask Mary, you can stay online, but I'm signing off on this particular seminar now. And I do that by pressing